From the Haunted Attraction Network, this is Haunting the Globe, a show about haunted attractions throughout the world. In this episode, I'm handing the mic over to Daryl, who interviewed Rutherford Manor Haunt in Edmonton, the 2015 winner for Best Canadian Indoor Walkthrough Haunt from the Canadian Haunters Association. For more information on this haunt, visit www.rutherfordmanorhaunt.com. That's www.rutherfordmanorhaunt.com. This episode corresponds to Daryl's article in the May edition of the Haunt Journal. To read the article and get your free copy of the Haunt Journal, visit www.hauntjournal.com, again as one word and all lowercase, www.hauntjournal.com. Enjoy the show and stay scary.
This is a Haunted Attraction Network production.
This is Haunting the Globe. Short but intense interviews from haunted attractions around the world.
So let's get a little bit of background, who you are, how long you guys have been haunting, and where did you actually start haunting?
We've been decorating for quite a while, but I would say we really got started in 2009. That was our first we did a diorama. When we moved the following year to Rutherford, where we are now, and that's sort of really, it's just taken off since then.
Yeah, the diorama was our first.
Yeah, it was a dungeon.
Yeah, it was a dungeon. That's where we actually got some stuff in there and went, wow, people kind of like this. And
yeah,
we had some stuff set up on the way up to the house to get your candy and stuff like that. And
so that diorama, that was just inside the house, or that was outside?
It was actually a garage facade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of set up inside the garage, open the door, and there's this little dungeon with some characters in it and whatnot, and lighting and so on. And then we had some more stuff on the walk up to the house, and then a little bit of a graveyard. And then the wind came up and blew half our tombstones away. So that was lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
So then we realized, well, this is kind of neat. People tend to like this. So then we moved to Rutherford. We kind of did the same thing, a dungeon. And then we started to get a little bit of a walkthrough through the dungeon, and then it just took off from there.
Yeah.
Are you still including the garage and all of the front yard? Are you guys doing around the house, or?
Yeah, we don't. The garage is completely part of the walkthrough, and then the way the yard's set up here, there's yards on both sides of the house. So, and they're very small because it's on a.
The frontage is very small.
Yeah, the frontage is very small. The back is huge, but the frontage is small. So. We do a bit of a graveyard on the one side, and then the other side is I guess it was intended as a dog run, but we turn that into part of the walkthrough. So you come out of the garage into that part of it, and then you go into the backyard, and then you exit out the back gate, and you come around down. There's a little walk path. You come around to the front.
You let your customers exit? Wow, you guys are special.
Well, the interesting thing is they see them go in to the walkthrough, but they don't see them come out. So they don't know where they come out because they just come randomly.
They actually come out our backyard, so they don't come back out the front.
They come randomly walking down the sidewalk between the houses, and I don't, some people probably don't put it together. Like, well, where did they go?
So does that help kind of increase the anxiety and the tension as you lead them in?
I would think. And you don't have your exit and your entrance tied together. They can't see one from the other. So yeah, they got to be wondering, because some people don't ever come back out. They end up going back to their house down the green space at the back, so they never do come back to the front.
Yeah, our backyard exits onto a green space, so basically they spill out onto the green space, and if they choose to go back to the front of the house and resume trick-or-treating or whatever they're doing, they do. Many just disperse down the pathway behind our house.
Particularly when there's chainsaws chasing.
Because we have chainsaws back there.
Don't go back.
Yep.
I imagine that adds a little bit to the tension. How many people do you guys have come through?
Well, last year we think we had close to 2,000 people over the 4 nights.
We're open for
4 nights, and then on Halloween we probably had 900 people just on the one night alone.
Yeah.
So it's growing by 50% every year, it seems.
Wow. How do you manage crowd control, and what do the neighbors think? Are they lined up in front of, people parking all over the place and lined up in front of the neighbor's place?
Yep, blocking driveways, blocking access.
Last year I had to actually go out and help a neighbor get out of their driveway because there's people lined up about 5 houses down. and then of course all the traffic going through. So it's getting to a point where we're starting to be concerned with crowd control. We do have line actors that do entertain the crowd out front, but at some point, do you have to put up porta potties? What do you have to do? I mean, you're going to have 300 people waiting in line or more. It becomes a bit of a concern at some point. I guess we're just getting to that stage now where.
That's something we have to consider for next year. We're going to probably put up turnstiles so they snake through a little better on the driveway area so we can get more volume through and they're not standing in front of everybody's driveways. And basically more people in the queue trying to control where they're standing and make sure they're not blocking anyone.
And so far the neighbors have been very amicable. We do tend to talk to them throughout the year and try to make sure that everything's okay. And the ones on either side, we actually sometimes give them a little gift saying,
we give them gifts.
We know what we have to put up, or you have to put up with and stuff like that. So we appreciate it. And then we explain that it's all for a good cause because it's donations and whatnot. So
what are you collecting donations for?
We collect donations. Well, last year it was for Second Chance Animal Rescue Society and the Millwoods selects U18 girls soccer team. And the year before that was for the Stolleries. And every year we've always had a food bank donation box put out front and that's really only for Halloween. And that's just kind of a, drop some food in and go through the haunt kind of thing. So it's not mandatory, obviously, but we encourage people to bring food. And it's posted that way on our webpage and so on. So we've done very well that way. Last year, we ended up with $2,600 in cash donation, which we distributed between the two charities, and over 700 pounds of food for the food bank, which was almost all of that was accumulated Halloween night.
And a whole truck full of goodies for Scars.
Oh yeah, that's right. A full truck full of goodies, pet food, all that kind of stuff for Scars as well, on top of the cash donation.
No, they're amazing at what people will put in. Like for the food bank, they're putting in full grocery bags full of food. It's not like one or two items. It's like five or six items per bag, and it becomes a bit of an issue because we have to haul it in every
night because it freezes.
Well, we can't. I mean, we actually have to haul it in during Halloween. We ended up filling up our living room full of food bank donations. We ended up with 4 big boxes full.
Yeah. Because you can't leave it outside because it freezes. So we haul it in. That's what Liam, our son, and his friends are here to empty the food bank donation bins. I think he did 4 times over Halloween night just to get all the stuff inside. And then we're walking in a labyrinth of food bags and stuff all over the house until we get it organized the next day. But we most of that. 720 pounds was collected Halloween night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. And so I think that the food bank would really appreciate something like that, won't they?
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah. Now this is our 3rd year of donating and they know who we are and we get it on letterhead, Rutherford Manor Haunt and stuff like that. Yeah. So they know us and expect a pickup and they're very good at picking up really, really quick after Halloween, like November 2nd, it was all gone.
Right on. That's great.
Yeah, because it's a bit of an inconvenience to have it all over your house.
So if you guys are open for 4 nights, how long does it take to set all of this up, including the garage and the backyard?
We start the actual setup about 6 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
A lot of it we can set up, behind the fence so people don't really know what's going on. And kind of stage it so that it's
less work.
The least inconvenience. We like to keep our vehicles in the garage, so typically the garage is the last thing to set up. We set the graveyard pretty early on so people know that we're going to be open, and then we start setting up the stuff on the side of the house in the backyard and whatnot because it kind of goes unnoticed. And then the last thing is to actually do up the garage and then the front driveway and stuff like that. So it's a good 6 weeks of solid setup time. We start building stuff, of course, right after the
November 2nd.
Yeah. Well, certainly planning is November 2nd. We kind of dissect what worked and what didn't work from that season, and we regroup.
Yeah, planning is huge. We actually run a big spreadsheet of everything that we want to do for the next year. And every year we say, well, let's just try to pare it down, keep this
right.
So
like that
never works. So I mean, this year we probably have 70 new items on the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So we have to start building and ticking those things off fairly early on, and every year it seems to just grow exponentially with new ideas and new rooms, new scenes. You have to change it up every once in a while.
Yeah, we're changing it a lot this year. So
now, do you keep sort of the same theme with just different rooms, different props, or do you change your theme every year like some people do?
No, the theme is constant, and that's there's a reason for that. First of all, it allows our costumes to be consistent, so we're not digging around an hour before Halloween or whatever, hour before you open, trying to figure out what costume is left. So our costumes are static, slightly tweaked every year, but the theme,
and so are our main characters.
Yeah,
we have some
characters are in the backstory.
Yeah, they're in costume,
and they're in costume,
same costume,
and the theme is consistent throughout. And that really, I mean, in some cases or some instances, it might hamper you a little bit because I want to bring this in. Well, that doesn't really fit. Like clowns, well, they don't really fit in this theme. So we're always, it's a bit of a give and take as what fits and what doesn't. But having a backstory and having a theme really adds to the hype and the scariness, I guess, of the haunt.
And continuity, right?
Continuity, yeah.
And it reduces our stress at the end of the day.
And you want people to buy into that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is.
You put this out on social media, and you say, okay, well, this is the theme, and you want people already having some anxiety before they even show up, because we have their attention for a very short period of time, and we really have to maximize that time and go after their primal fears. It's all about fear. The psychology of fear. We're not into a lot of gore and a lot of other things, but we do want to find something for everyone, something that they're terrified of.
Phobias. Yeah,
the phobias is a big part of it. So we try to address that and come up with something that will interest everyone or not interest them, more so the case. But and they have no idea when they're walking into this thing that we've done that. And very quickly you can see, if you're watching them or if you're watching the cameras or whatever, you can see you've got their undivided attention and they're starting to get very worried and their anxiety is up and their adrenaline is rushing, and then we capitalize on that.
Yeah.
And then people never come out. So that just adds to it too, right?
Exactly. They just vanish down the pathway.
So what are you donating to the food bank? Yeah. It's fresh food. You guys got to take it.
Yeah, it's fresh meat. Fresh.
Do you guys have lots of returning actors then, because you're doing the same theme and you have some of the same characters? Do you have the same people playing them year after year?
We are starting to get that. Yes, we've had a couple of our main, like our Q line people, have been 4 years. This will be their 5th year coming up. So they've been great. They're friends of ours and been with us since we moved to Rutherford. Like after our first year. They've been here since 2011, season 2011. So that's been great. We have also, gotten the soccer community and things like that when include them in our charitable donations. The girls have all gotten the bug. Some of the guys have gotten the bug. So we're getting a lot of repeat actors, and it's been really nice for us because it's always a scramble to try and find enough people to man the haunt, especially on Halloween, because that's the big night for us, and it, we have to have even extras because it gets so busy now that we need to have people, take a little break, get some water, rest your voice.
And as far as quantities go, we're running close to 20 actors or more per night.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of actors to have to depend on.
Purpose, but.
Do you buy anything at all in regards to like sort of pre-made Halloween props that you touch up, or do you make everything yourself from scratch?
We do go into this, the Halloween stores just to look around. We typically don't buy much. If we do buy a prop, we'll typically repurpose it. But we make most of the props that are in our haunt, because you just can't get the quality without spending a lot of money in a Halloween store, and most of them don't even have that type of quality.
No, you need to go to Transworld to kind of get something that's repeatable for,
and really scary.
Yeah, and scary for 900, 1,000 people in a night. I don't think Spirit makes anything that'll fire that frequently and hold up over much time, right?
They don't.
So they don't. And I'm not poo-pooing Spirit, but it's just not that kind of repeatability, right? So it's not intended for that. But we make 80% of probably everything in our haunt.
Yeah. At least 80%. And like I say, it's buying stuff that we're repurposing and putting cylinders on it and whatnot. My background is actuation, so that's what kind of got me into this. I mean, I love scaring people. Apparently, I always have. But
Apparently,
with an automation background, of course, the pneumatics, hydraulics, electrics, electronics just fits very well. I'm quite adept with that type of equipment. I tend to over-engineer things.
As Therese laughs.
Oh God!
Just because
I'll look struggle.
At it. She'll show me a prop, or we'll see a prop at a pro haunt or whatever, and we can build that. And I'll go online, and you'll find somebody a tutorial that's built it. I go, well, I can build that better. So it's like, well, you don't need to. It's like, well, yeah, I kind of do because that's the way I am. So I will tend to over-engineer things. Yeah. And then
the good thing is that your homemade props are going to last for 10 or 20 years instead of 10 or 20 times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, sometimes they only last 10 or 20 times, but that's just because I've screwed up somewhere along the line.
But you make props that are safe. You make props that are a little unusual, not your typical run-of-the-mill store-bought ones. And this has actually earned you some acclaim because this year you two won an award with the Canadian Haunters Association. Tell us about this.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we're thrilled to win. I don't think we were expecting it, but yes, we won for best yard haunt walkthrough this year, and I think probably part of that is we do have a lot of unique things you won't see anywhere else. We have probably an OCD attention to detail between the two of us, which is not a good thing.
It takes 20% longer to do everything, but
you just can't step back from some stuff, and we both struggle with that. It's kind of both of our own issue.
But some people do appreciate it. A very small percentage, but they do really appreciate it.
We spend probably too much time on
I think
detail.
That's maybe what contributed to us winning. Yep. Is the attention to detail.
We do put a lot of detail in that people going through the haunt never see, but that I want to see and Hugh wants to see, and I think it's a visual thing for us. It's a creative outlet, and it kind of needs to be there. So if it's not there, then it just bugs both of us. So we're pretty detail oriented, and it's annoying.
So some of your OCD stuff you can actually realize if I can't do it this year, I can do it next year, but I can do it good enough this year?
Well, we're always planning a year in advance, which might seem weird, but we recognize there's things that are nice to have and things that are need to have, and there's things we're not quite ready for, so we'll work on those in the off season, and we'll do those next year.
So yes, we can curb our OCD tendencies
or delay them.
We delay them, but we with a vision, right? Because we kind of, when we add a new room, it takes a while to get that kind of depth and character to it. So we know that, okay, this is our first year with this room. By next year, it's going to be even better, and then it'll be great. It takes a long time to get the lighting, all the atmosphere, the draping, the set design of it. We have a very good picture in our minds of where we want to be. And we can actually get a lot of that structure in probably in the first year that we do it. But the real atmosphere will come the following year, and then the next year. And then we'll change it out because we only go 3 years with a theme for the most part, especially in the garage. But we get a really good basis in the first go round. And then we know next year, here's what we want to add. We need to do this and make it a lot more detailed and dimensional, 3-dimensional, and just coming at you more. But we can definitely live with our OCD and inadequacies as we, October 31st or whatever the 4 days approaches, and we just go, okay, it's good, but we know where we want to be, and then we get there within a couple of years, and then we tear it down and we start over.
This is a Haunted Attraction Network production. Achieve more with all our products at www.hauntedattractionnetwork.com.